Hi, Brock Anderson, Hang Loose Outdoors. I'm going to bring you your weekly fishing report for the Grand Rapids area. We're pushing into Father's Day weekend, so happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. The walleye bite has been really good around the area. The water temperatures have finally warmed up and continue to warm up, and that's just made the bite that much better around the area. It seems like everyone you talk to is catching fish on pretty much all the walleye water bodies around the area. Yesterday we had a strong line of thunderstorms go through, and a lot of people say that the walleyes don't bite after thunderstorms. Today was a really good day of fishing, and the past week has been really good. That rain that we had yesterday lowered the water temperatures a little bit. Today it got to about 66 on the body of water we were on. We have seen it hit 70 on a few lakes around the area before we got all that rain. We're kind of transitioning away from the shoreline fish, and we're getting into the secondary structures and the humps and the bars more out into the main lake. Today we hammered fish in that 14 to 16 foot depth on the points that really jolted out into the main lake, kind of leading out to those humps, into those bars. We found fish kind of on the tips of those secondary structures going out to the main lake, and on the inside corners of some of those big, long, narrow points. We had no problem cruising around in the boat with the Garmin units and graphing fish, and then dropping waypoints on them and working through those pods of fish and catching fish. We're pushing away from the jig and the shiner bite or the jig and the minnow bite, and we're working a lot of Lindy rigs. I know Topper yesterday on a different body of water smashed fish on crawlers and spinners, so that's really going to start heating up also. But today our best luck was just on a regular Lindy rig and a crawler or a leech. So right here I have about a 6.5 foot Lindy rig with just an 1/8 ounce bullet, and then plain red hook. I do have a bead, a chartreuse bead on this one. That's what I was using, but just a plain hook seemed like it kept more perch away today, and we tipped that with like a 3/4 to a half crawler or a leech. So when we went through those pods of fish, if we were getting bit on a crawler, more bites on a crawler, then I would put a crawler on everyone. And then once that slowed down and the leeches started going, then we would transition over to all leeches. So it was kind of catch a few fish on crawlers, catch a few fish on leeches. We did find an absolute pile of fish on a very tip of a point today, leading out into the main lake, and they were kind of congregated right in the size of the boat. And there was, I don't know, 50 fish on my graph. Not on my graph, but in that area. I mean, it was just yellow jelly beans all over on the Garmin unit. I anchored up with the motor guide, and we sat there and went to 1/8 ounce jigs. We tipped those with a leech, and we just made a nice short cast over the side of the boat, and we sat that on bottom and slowly dragged it along, and the walleyes would pick that jig and leech up off bottom, and you'd set the hook, and we had a lot of fun doing that. A lot of doubles today. It was really good fishing today, and it has been, you know, for the past week around the Grand Rapids area. So look for the leeches in the crawler bite to be really good, you know, from here for the next month or so. If you do find a pot of fish and you don't catch them like this, increase your speed, you know, put a bottom bouncer on and a spinner, a half a crawler, and rip through those fish to get a reaction bite. We usually go to spinners, you know, maybe later June. But that bite, like I said, Topper smashed them on that yesterday. Every day is different. Have leeches, crawlers, and a few minnows in your boat at all times this time of year, and let the fish tell you what they want. So good luck this weekend. Happy Father's Day. See you on the water.